Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So yesterday I was doing some deep thinking while working on a project, and it really got me thinking about the fact of how fast I've been moving on this house, and it's kind of made me realize like some things because like everybody keeps telling me that I need to slow down, and like my own internal guidance keeps telling me I need to slow down, and like yesterday even while I was working on this project, like I kept hearing song after song after song after song that kept playing and like mentioning things of like slowing down, going slow, like just, relaxing more and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it. Like, I need to slow down. But while I was doing this project, which I was sanding the door frame for mine and Tracy's bedroom, and the door frame is like slightly too large for the door that we have, or maybe I don't know. So I was working on basically trimming down the boards like an eighth of an inch with a sander, which took forever. By the way, I don't recommend. But anyways, while I was doing this, so that way the door could shut all of the way, um, I really like was able to get into like a really deep state of like almost like a meditative state, to where I was thinking about like why it is that I'm moving so fast. Because like I've told different people that and I've told you guys that it's because I don't like seeing projects not finished, which is honestly true. Like it drives me bonkers. But like everything with this place, like from the beginning of us getting it, I've been like working at warp speed, just trying to go so fast and go so hard at it and stuff. And like yesterday, I finally realized like the reasoning behind all of that actually isn't just because it drives me crazy seeing things unfinished, because like realistically there's so much stuff to do at this house. Like literally every single room needs painted, new flooring needs done in every single room, like literally everything needs touched. Like so I mean it's a laundry list, like a very long list of things that have to be done, and pretty much everything outside needs done too. Like that's what happens when you buy a place that doesn't cost very much money, that has land in a market that is absolutely bananas. Like you're going to expect that you're going to be basically devoting your entire lifetime to doing work there. But for some reason, for me, I kept, feeling like I just need to get it all done as fast as possible, as fast as possible. And like feeling like I have this like fear of not getting it done in time. And so while I was working on the door, which took like 3.5 hours, like it was a long time. Um, but so while I was working on that, I got to thinking about the reasoning, like the deep-seated issue as to why this keeps happening and why I'm always in such a rush and in such a hurry to get everything accomplished. And it came back down to my body. Like I've done a lot of like soul searching and deep inner work and shadow work and all of this stuff throughout my life, especially in the last like 5 years of my life, to try to help eliminate a lot of like fear and anxiety and nervousness and stress within my body and within like my own soul and stuff, because I naturally am a person that like feels other people's like issues and all that stuff, and a lot of times I end up taking them on as my own. And that can become very heavy, especially when you have your own baggage and your own crap that you have to work through. So in the last 5 years or so, I've done a lot of inner work and a lot of like removal of fear and blockages and like things that kept holding me back. And like I'm like, I don't understand what this is, like that I feel almost like in this state of panic about that I have to get this done. I have to and stuff. And then yesterday it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I don't even know where it came from or anything, but I realized that the like to put it simply, like there is a lot of craziness that's going on in the world, and it doesn't scare me at all. It doesn't put me in a place of fear, because I can trust on my own capabilities, my own strength, my own abilities, my own resilience, and all of this stuff to and my own mental strength and all that stuff to cope with any sort of really difficult situation, as long as my body can handle it. And for those of you that don't know, because I know that I have a lot of new subscribers right now, which I'm very appreciative of, and those that are new here too, I have a genetic condition called Ehlers Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that makes it so my body does not make collagen properly. So it makes it so in short, like it makes it so all of my tendons, ligaments, and cartilage are made of junk. So everything in my body basically is deteriorating at a much faster rate than the average human does, which leads me to a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, and all of this stuff. But what brought me to that realization as to what was going on, the deep-seated issue was I actually, I'm pretty sure I have a good bit of arthritis in my hands. And in this past week, I have actually developed a hard lump, like right there on the inner side of my right middle finger on my right hand, which is my dominant hand. It's right at the base of that joint right there. And I've had a few people feel it and they all say it feels like bone, but we don't have medical insurance. So not getting it checked out because it's not that bad of an issue right now. But I had whacked it yesterday, and that's kind of like what brought me to realizing like that that's actually my fear. Like that there is so much fear that I keep holding inside of myself. Like because everything rides on what I'm physically capable of doing. Like life on a homestead is extremely physically demanding and stuff. And, a few years ago, my body stopped being able to handle the physical demands of working full time. And so then I dropped down to working part time. And then I couldn't handle the physical demands of part time work. And so then I wasn't able to work anymore at all and stuff. And I've just, over the course of the last like 4 years through homesteading, I've been like gradually and slowly and steadily working up my strength, working up my stamina, and just keep slowly like moving forward to try to like build everything back up to what I was prior to like ridiculously bad ankle injury that pretty much laid me up and ruined a lot of issues, a lot of things in my life, and took a lot of things from me and stuff. But I realized that no matter how much soul searching that I've done and stuff, I still have a pretty substantial amount of fear within my body about my body. And that's something that I realize is going to be something that's really difficult for me to actually cope with, because like it's really easy for me. I've been gaslit a lot throughout my adolescence and my adulthood, by family members and by myself, as a learned behavior, to not accept that what I'm feeling in my body is actually real, as messed up as that sounds. But, from a very young age, I was basically told that my pain wasn't real, that I was just making things up, that I was just a baby, that I just, need to toughen up. And that was pretty much the mentality of my household growing up, was always to be tougher and be tougher and be tougher and be tougher. You can't be sensitive. You have to be tough. Like that was everything, was just to become very calloused and jaded and strong. That was, a very macho way to be raised and to exist. And like I have had a lot of joint issues since I was very young. Obviously it's genetic, so I've had it for forever, even though I only got diagnosed, in the last like 5-6 years with it. But that's, this is not a diagnosis story type of video. But so I've learned to cope with actually a lot of my physical pain by essentially gaslighting myself too, of just pushing through all of my ailments, all of my pain, all of my discomfort, all of my suffering, for some end goal and stuff, even to the point that a lot of times this is really abusive towards myself, and I've realized that, and I've been working on this for a good long while now. But like there's a lot of times too that I will essentially reward myself with breaks once I get to a certain level of doneness with a project, even if my body is like screaming at me and begging me to stop. And it's just, it's really hard living with this feeling inside that you essentially can't trust your own physical self. Because like what led to me not being able to work was actually stepping wrong. One little misstep, and it like destroyed everything that I had been building. And I've been so scared of that here, like with doing this big level of a project, because like there are some seriously big big dreams and big goals that I have for my life and that I've set out that I want to accomplish, but they all ride on me being physically capable to do the things that I'm doing now. And I always have this like feeling of like a ticking time bomb inside of my mind that like at some point I'm not going to be able to walk anymore. At some point I'm not going to be able to do all of the things that I'm doing now, but I know that I'm capable of doing it right now. So I feel all this immense pressure to just get it all done right now, because at any moment, I could step wrong, I could fall, I could get hurt, I could, a million different things could happen. But once you've had that already happen before and everything just then gets stripped away from you, it kind of like leaves you with a bit of like PTSD, where you're like, honestly, like where you're thinking constantly of trying to be hyper vigilant all of the time of every action that you're doing, every movement that you're making, every positioning that you're doing as you're like just existing. And it's not a very fun or easy way to live. And it's just, I don't know, it's that realization that I had yesterday. Like I talked to Tracy about it a little bit last night and yesterday, because it is, I do always talk with her about stuff and everything. Like we've been together since before my body ever fell apart and stuff, like a good long while before then. So I mean, she's been with me through like all of my rises and fallings and all that stuff. And so it's always nice to have somebody that you can actually like talk to in depth and everything. But like I've realized that that is the exact reason as to why I am pushing so hard, because I even had a friend, he called us like last week and stuff, and he was actually talking to us, and he's like, why are you going so fast? Like just slow down, take a breath, like just, you guys got all the time in the world, like it'll get done when it gets done, like just, you got a roof over your heads, you're kept dry, you're sheltered, you're warm, you're comfortable, like just put your blinders on for a little while, focus on what actually needs done, and just take a breath, like just relax. And I like felt really triggered actually by him saying that. So Rich, if you're watching this video, just know that you kind of sparked some stuff inside of me, but in a good way. But I felt kind of triggered at first when he was saying that, because I'm like internally I just kept feeling like, you don't understand, I have to go this fast, I can't stop. It's not just because I love doing projects, because I do love doing projects, I love working with my hands and stuff. That's why they've taken on such a gangly shape and disfigurement and stuff at the ripe old age of 31. They've changed significantly and stuff, even just in the last couple of years from working so hard with my hands, from homesteading and stuff. Like I've put my body really through the ringer. But like I just kept feeling when he kept saying like, just slow down, you guys got all the time in the world, like I kept feeling like really strongly like, no I don't, like you don't understand, like I have to go faster, I have to hurry up, like I have to get all this stuff done now. And I like couldn't figure out why I felt so like adverse to that, that urging and pleading to just relax. And like I said, then yesterday I kind of realized all of that. And this has been kind of a long time coming of realizations and stuff, because like that big lump on my finger in that knuckle there, I used to work in nursing homes. That was my line of work. I was a nurse's aide, so I have dealt with a lot of elderly people and arthritic joints and hands and like old people problems, and I realized once I felt that lump that that kind of indicates that I have like a significant degree of arthritis in my hands and stuff. And like as stupid as this is, okay, because I'm so able to just push aside all of my pain due to trauma and stuff, it makes it really easy for me to just pretend that my body's fine. Like, yeah, I'm way more flexible than most people, but it can be an advantage at some points. But I try to ignore the fact that like I have to wear ankle braces and I should wear knee braces all the time too, but I don't, because they're uncomfortable. And there's all these things that I have to do to make adaptations and stuff for my body, that it's easy for me to just kind of forget that like there are long-term consequences to this stuff. And like with having that lump on my finger, like as silly as just a random lump is and stuff, it made me realize that like I am doing permanent damage to my body by working like this. Like the one thing that I'm afraid of is hurting my body and it being a permanent thing. And yet here I am voluntarily working myself so hard that I am doing permanent damage to my body. And like that on Wednesday, that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. And it just, I don't know. So yeah, it's been a rough last couple of days for me internally. With a lot of like big, profound realizations and a lot of like healing that has to be done within me, so that way I can achieve a state of accepting my reality and still being okay with that and trying to find peace with, the limitations, we'll just put it that way, of the hand that I was dealt. So yeah, moving forward, I definitely am going to have to be a lot kinder to myself, and not just keep pushing so hard. It also kind of sucks too because I'm one of the people that I take a lot of pride in my work and I love to do stuff the old-fashioned way. I like to do everything by hand and stuff. So like I think that I'm going to have to, and like I want to say admit defeat, but I know that it's not defeat. Like it's not anything to do with being defeated. It's just finding different ways to do the things that I love. And it's just, I don't know. I need to figure out how to be kinder to myself, while still also being productive and doing it in a way that I don't end up like making a lot of regrets for myself. Yeah, there's so much more to this that like I don't even have time to like express because like there's just not enough time in the day to unwind, the last whole bunch of years of pushing myself to get to where I'm at now. There's just not enough time to make a video about that. So yeah, I guess I'll leave it there so that way I can kind of collect my thoughts and get some painting done on these steps, just so that way I can keep moving forward in a slow, steady, methodical way, that isn't very damaging on anything. So yeah. If you guys have any thoughts, or any words of encouragement, I could definitely use some. But beyond that, if you're enjoying my content, which this is kind of not my normal content, if you guys have been joining for any length of time, but this channel is very much about reality and keeping things real and authentic. So yeah, here's me, super authentic and awkward. So if you're enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.